Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this Friday morning. We have a special guest here, but first, let's take care of our weather. It looks like the high today is going to be 80, but it's going to be cool weather coming, so just hold on. Low's going to be 57, into the 50s tonight. Our water temperature is still at 75 degrees off the end of the pier. Take a look at our river reading brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do. The Apalachicola Bluntstown is at a 7.6, and folks, it's dropping. They have shut the locks, and it's going to have a sharp drop to it this weekend. That's different from what we predicted yesterday. And the Choctawhatchee Caryville is in good shape. It's reading right now 5.3 and might have a little bit of rise to it. The Choctawhatchee River is going to be beautiful this weekend if you get a chance to get out there and up in those sloughs and creeks and all. All right, the tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Decent tides today. Well, I'll just call them decent, but we've got some great tides coming the next couple of days, the next 7 days. The low is going to be 336 and the high is going to be at 719 tonight. So it's going to be, and the wind, it's going to be steady coming out of the northeast and still in double digits, but this system is going to get on out of here really fast, and it's going to not going to have much effect on us as we thought it was going to be in the early part of the week. All right, let's take a break, come back with our special guest. Welcome back, and look who's here this morning in Studio B. Captain Roy. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, Coach.
It is so great. This is the man you blame for getting me doing this stuff right here. And most of y'all know the story and all, but this is the first time we've been together on the show since you lost Miss Myrtle.
Right.
And we're glad to have you back. We're so sorry. I know y'all married how many years?
64.
64 years, and had a wonderful life together. I know she was such a great partner, and Gail and I did some things with y'all. And
very special person. As a matter of fact, when they were making the jigs, the only thing I did was make them. She tied them up and did all the packaging and so forth. And it's been tough, but I've decided to make some more jigs.
Well, that's good. I remember Gail and I were talking sometimes when we were doing the show together. I'd call you up and we'd be planning the show. I said, "What are y'all doing?" He said, "We're making lures. We're making the jigs," and y'all made quite a few of them.
I wondered about that, and I got some of our old records and books and tried to find out just about how many of them that we had made, and we bought the hooks by the thousand. And I pulled out all the invoices I could find, and best I could tell, we actually made about 20,000 of those things.
20,000.
Yeah, we had them in about all the tackle shops from Pensacola to Tallahassee, and of course when we went on TV and we got sponsors making other baits and like DOA baits and things, and so the Ray Speck rig died again. Actually, that was the second death. Those jigs dates back to the late 40s, early 50s, and when Mr. Louis Spinks made this same jig, and I'm using the same mold, and he made those little jigs to use as a trailer behind a mirror lure. People used to troll in Crooked Creek, Burnt Mirror Creek in the wintertime, and he used them. He made them to use as a trailer behind, and they still work good that way. But Mr. Spinks died, and the jig died. And I retired from Southern Bell Telephone Company in '85, and I wanted some of those jigs because I fished with them a long time. My dad, he used to take them out in West Bay and catch 30, 40 pounds of speckled trout on them and sell them. The bay, one time part of it was closed off by the folks trying to raise those large shrimp. And they would put that feed in there to feed the shrimp, and that feed would float up against that net. My dad would go along there with that jig, right along that net, and catch them. Anyway, it worked good, and I found out that before he died, that Mr. Spinks gave everything to his heart doctor, which was Dr. Owen Reese. And by the way, Dr. Reese passed just a couple, 3 months ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I missed him. And I called Doc and to get him to make me some jigs, and he didn't know how to make them. And but he wanted some, and I said, "Well, Doc," he said, "I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you everything that Louis gave me. I'll tell you everything that Louis told me, and then you can make us both some." Well, it didn't come that easy, Coach. 6 months before I got where I could
trial and error, wasn't it?
Could pour those things without burning the feathers up, because the feathers actually molded in the lead, and he used a little piano wire, real fine wire, and I couldn't do it. My wife was a great of everything, but one of them was a seamstress. She liked to sew and all, and I thought it hit me. I guess the Lord might have told me this, to try something different. And I asked her if she had some sewing thread that had some plastic in it. She said, "Sure." I said, "Give me some of it." And that's how I got to where I could pull them. That lead hits the plastic and melts it, and forms a little barrier around it, and that's where I learned to make them.
Yeah.
And
well, you know, Louis Spinks, he'd passed away when I done the book, but I got to interview his wife, and Louis had come down from Birmingham, from the steel mills up in Birmingham. That's where he worked. So I realized that's how he made that mold. He had some of those guys working in a factory, because I talked to his wife, and she said they were always making molds and all. So that's where the actual mold came from. Then he used it, gave it to Dr. Reese, and Dr. Reese gave it to you.
Right.
So that's cool. That's part of it. That's really part of our heritage.
And it died again. Again.
Okay, we're going to take a break, come back and tell you what's going to happen next, okay? We'll be right back. Welcome back, and sitting here with Captain Roy Ray, long-time friend, and I think he's been more than a friend. He's been like a brother to me all these years, and I've always loved Roy Ray and his family. Now, you've run into so many people in your lifetime fishing.
Yeah, I did.
And I know they're scattered all over. Who do you want to say some good mornings to this morning, scattered out throughout the South?
Rob Feeler and his sons, Joseph and Wally. They came down twice a year, and I took them fishing. They're wonderful people, and a good morning you kill a folk. And his wife, I took her fishing some. Actually, they were my last charter. Last Veterans Day, I took them fishing, and I did not tell them until we got back to the dock, and they told me, Rob told me, he said, "Well, we'll see you in March, Captain Roy." I said, "Well, I got some sad news, Rob. This is my last charter." So 1 year ago, this past Wednesday, whatever Veterans Day was yesterday, it was my last charter. But good morning to you folks. John Farr up in Anderson, they watch, by the way, Rob watches your show every day on YouTube.
Appreciate that.
And John Farr.
John Farr.
A good, another one. John lives in Anderson, South Carolina. And he likes the show, always has. And good morning, John. And I'm going to say one more. I'm going to tell him, because I'm going to mention his name. Former Senator W.D. Childers, lifelong friend of mine. As a matter of fact, he holds the record for having served the most years in the Florida Senate. He holds the record.
He was a good one.
And the reason I mentioned his name, because he's the author of the W.D. Childers cane fishing law, making it legal for people to fish with a cane pole in their own county without having to buy a fishing line.
That's right.
W.D., I'm going to tell you what.
That's a big step right there for the history of the fishermen here in the Florida Panhandle.
Yes, sir. And I had enough stuff left over from when I did make the jig. I had the cards and didn't have any hooks, but I had the floats that were made. By the way, this is the way to come. This is what folks might not have ever seen this. That's what I call a spec rig. That's the one that's got the float already attached to it, and the leader line is ready to fish. And you can get the replacement jigs. They come to the package. And by the way, C&G Sporting Goods have these in stock.
That's what I was going to say. Now, you decided to make a few more. How many more are you going to make?
I had this stuff to make 500.
500 more.
And, you know, as I said, I had to find something to do to occupy my time and keep me from thinking about my wife, because she did do all the tying and stuff. But I'm going to make those 500, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
And right now, you're going to exclusively have them down at C&G Sporting Goods right now?
Yeah, C&G Sporting Goods.
Folks are always asking where to go and get them, and that's where we're going to be.
And if you forget that, you can just call me. I can tell you, that's my plans right now, to put them in C&G Sporting Goods. They're good people down there, and they've been sponsors for our show ever since we
always have been.
Come on there.
Yeah.
And so you can pick those up down there. We're going to give some of these away too, right?
Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to give away a pair of these. In fact, we'll do the jig right here and the rig, this pair right here. And if you win it, we're going to draw it out of the pickle jar, and just call me or text me or email me your address, and we'll mail them to you. Or you can make them pick them up, and we'll see. All right, the winner. You draw the name out.
Draw a name out. Go way down at the bottom.
That's right.
Winston Chester.
No. I got some.
Almost.
Crystal Melvin up there in Fountain. I know they're going to fish with it. Crystal Melvin in Fountain.
You got two. Or if they want to come by my house, I'll give them two.
Yeah, either way. You
can call.
Touch base with us.
But you're going to be giving some of these away,
Yeah, the next week or two, we're going to be giving some away. Throughout the next couple of weeks, we'll be giving some away. He's going to leave a bag full with us. So we're going to have some lucky winners coming up in our fall sweepstakes.
I still guarantee them to catch more speckled trout than any bait you'll fish with. And I've never had anybody come back and say, hey, I beat you. You fished out on a boat with somebody fishing something else for speckled trout. Fish it the whole trip. And when you get back to the dock, if they catch more speckled trout than you do, you call me. I never have had anybody do. They work, folks.
Now, let's qualify this. This statement is coming from Captain Roy, and in my opinion, Captain Roy has caught more speckled trout than anybody in the Florida Panhandle in his lifetime. I unequivocally say that. I know there are great fishermen out there, a lot of captains fish, but now, when did you first start speckled trout fishing? About what year?
Well, when I was about 4 years old. No, actually, I started guiding people back in when I was in grade school in West Bay. I don't know, 10, 12 years old.
Yeah.
My dad had an old fishing boat with a 6.8 and 8/10 horsepower Champion motor on it, and it would push that boat just about as fast as I could scull it, but I didn't have to scull. And that's really how this bait here got into our family, because back then we would fish with a long cane pole with a big cork on it, and I advertised. My mom and dad had a store there in West Bay. And right next door, really, to Deputy Childers' family.
And the picture of that is in my book, if y'all want to read the story, so go ahead.
Okay. And one of my jobs was to entertain the guests with a pen full of alligators that my dad kept there at the store. And I put me a sign on that pen, a fishing guide, and I take people fishing. And if I had a trip, I think I charged them $1 or $1.50 to take them out there in the bay fishing. Well, that was pretty good money back then for a kid. But I'd go down to the evening before if I had a trip to go to the bay. By the way, I'd take them to the river fishing too. I didn't like to because you fishing in that Saltahatchee River. I remember fishing and some old lady sitting up there would be getting a bite. She'd say, hold the boat, son, I'm getting a bite. Ma'am, this thing don't have no brakes on it. This river is swift. But anyway, if I was going speckled trout fishing, I would go to and get me some pennywinkles off the grass. And I had a brick bat and a hammer in the boat. I'd break those pennywinkles up and had a small hook on a small pole and catch pinfish. And I'd cut the pinfish up. We'd put that on to fish for the trout. We'd throw that old pole out there with that big cork on it and pop it, make it look like a fish striking. And we catch a lot of speckled trout that way. And that's how my dad found out when he found this jig. He decided to try it under a float.
And that's how it started.
And that's how it got started.
All right, let's take our final break. We'll come back. We're going to give away some stuff. In fact, let's go and give some stuff away real quick. I'm going to let you draw a name. This is going to be for Los Angeles $25 gift certificate. So draw that name out. That's going to be Reggie Larry from Port St. Joe. Okay, this is a $20 gift certificate to Tarpon Dock Seafood, and that's going to be all the way from West Bay. Charlene Sowell. You know the Sowell family? Charlene Sowell. The Sowell family up in West Bay. You know them. All right, what about, let's do one more. Big Red Snapper.
Big Red Snapper.
And that's going to be James Haney. All right, those are 3 winners there. All right, let's take a final break. We're going to come back with our famous Friday fishing report. Okay, welcome back. Real quick, let's take a look at our fishing game time brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 9:07 to 11:07 this morning and 9:34 to 11:34 tonight. Now, we're going to do our fishing report, but we really want to take advantage of having Captain Roy here because of all the speckled trout he's caught, so we're going to let him do a lot of talking. I know you took a guy, Tom Mann, fishing one time real quick.
This time of the year, these speckled trout, of course, they're looking for a place to winter. And they go up in brackish water and fresh water, catching way up in Choctaw River sometimes. But the reason I like this time of the year fishing because the white shrimp used to go up in East Bay. I don't know whether they still do this or not, but they used to get up on top of the water at school, and that's what I look for. And I found something one time. I took Tom Mann fishing, and Tom, I took him about 3 times. They took him advertising twice, but he called me one morning, wanted me to take him fishing. And I made him at Brooks Bait and Tackle. I said, Tom, I'm going to meet you there. Don't go in there. Because Tom liked to talk. He was a fine man. He was an Indian, Tom Mann was. But of course, he made, I guess, the vintage plastic baits.
Yeah.
And so I found some white shrimp over in the mouth of California Bayou. And they were up there schooling. And we pulled up there. I told Tom, I said, Tom, you're going to catch some big trout right there. I told him what it was. And I had another fellow on the boat with me that he was coming down and going to do they did a show on TV. I forget the name of it. And he was going to come down. We were going to go look for some fish to film the next day for his show. And so I left Tom there, and I could hear him hollering, folks, if you find those, you find big speckled trout. Let me tell you, 3 to 5 pound speckled trout. Not many 5-pounders left. But Tom, hey, he had a time. And I named that place the Tom Mann Hole. And I tell the story every time I would take somebody fishing, I said, this is Tom Mann Hole right here. And we got back to the dock. Tom told me, come over and shook my hand. Captain Roy, I want to shake your hand. I said, why is that, Tom? He said, I've never caught fish like that before in my lifetime. I said, Tom, you fish all over the world. You're 2-time world champion bass fisherman. He said, but I never caught fish like that before.
That's cool. Cool story.
Anyway, that's a good time of the year.
So we're in November right now. We're at, right in the middle of November. We're getting ready for December. So what should be their game plan? What should folks be doing?
I like to watch the tides. Right now, as I say, they go up in these brackish creeks to winter. And I don't know, I've heard a lot of folks give a different opinion on why they do that. My idea was that they're a soft-skinned fish, and salt water will freeze things, you know. And they run from that salt. That's what I thought. Anyway, look for them around the mouth of the bayou. Callaway Bayou is a good place. With coming tide, they come in there, and with the tide, and when the tide starts out, they'll go right out in the mouth of Callaway Bayou. That's one of my favorite places to fish. But around the mouth of the bayous and creeks is where you need to fish.
Yep. Did you ever have much luck going up to Intercoastal?
Yeah,
you did. You used to fish that pretty good.
Very good. And I've got a cousin that still charters up there, Hunter Ray, by the way. Hunter, I gave you, he watches shows too.
He does. Good fisherman.
And he takes you fishing, and that's about all the only place he fishes.
Okay.
And the intercoastal waterway's good. Good places to fish. Up in Shawtahatchee River, I was fly fishing with my brother at the mouth of Steelfield and Fish Camp River there, East River, up where it hits East River. We were fly fishing, we kept seeing these fish striking over there. And we thought probably that they were some kind of freshwater fish, but I threw over there and caught a speckled trout that weighed about 3 pounds. And this was in the summertime. We was fly fishing, so they do go in, they follow bait.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to look for right now. If you can find bait schooling, probably it's going to be menhaden, and they like to feed on them. But around the mouth of the creek, Sandy Creek is one of my favorite places.
Yeah.
You got so many choices there. You go there and launch your boat at Royal Ready Launch up there. That's what I call that launch up there. I politicked for it for many years, and they finally built that dock, and they let me be the first boat to launch there at that bridge. But you got this creek right now. Probably if you go to Sandy Creek, I'd go down about the mouth of about a little Sandy right now, and just start fishing down. And if you don't find them in the creeks, you got Lacy Bayou across there. You got several bayous, so Sandy Creek's a good place. Fish around the mouth of the bayou this time.
Mouth of the bayou, that's some good advice.
As water temperature drops, they're going to go further up.
Yeah. Okay, well listen, we're going to have to wrap it up, Captain Roy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And we can get these down to C&G, and you're only going to make 500, limited edition.
Yeah, that's all I got just to make.
Okay.
500.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Folks, thank you all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We appreciate the viewership. Captain Roy and I started this years ago, and we try to continue the heritage, and we appreciate you coming on the show and everything you do for the outdoorsmen.
God bless you.
Okay, have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.